About 70% of adult cats don't like being held tight. That number comes from the Secure Base Test study by Oregon State University in 2019. This video isn't a guide on forcing your cat to love you. It's a science-backed explanation of why cats act the way they do and how you can actually build a real relationship with them, not the one you imagine in your head. Let's start with the simplest reason, the most easily overlooked: stress and health issues. When your cat suddenly avoids you even though nothing seemed off before, the first thing to check isn't their personality or their past, it's their body. Cats with arthritis, tooth pain, or urinary tract infections often respond by avoiding physical contact. Not because they hate you, but because touching a sore spot hurts. Simple as that. On top of that, a 2021 study measured cortisol levels, the stress hormone, in cat saliva before and after being petted. The results showed that in sensitive cats, prolonged petting significantly increased cortisol, even when they didn't show obvious resistance. In other words, your cat might be tolerating it and you wouldn't even know. Here are the specific signs: the tail flicking in small beats, ears tilted about 45 degrees back, whiskers pointing forward instead of resting naturally, and the skin on their back starting to ripple like something's twitching under the fur. This is the body language of a cat that's reaching its limit. They can't speak, they just send signals. With my own cat, if I simply switch the litter brand, it avoids me for a whole week. Not because I did anything wrong. It's just that the environment changed and that stresses it out. And when they're stressed, cats need space, not contact. Second reason: temperature. Sounds minor, but it actually matters a lot. Cats are heat-loving animals. Their ideal temperature is around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's why they love lying on top of your laptop, on top of the fridge, or in the morning sun. They're looking for heat. But in the summer, when the room is already warm, your lap is even hotter. Lying on you at that point isn't heaven, it's basically a heater. So your cat will pick the cool tile floor instead, not because they don't like you. Cats have around 300 heat receptors in their skin, much more sensitive than ours. They feel temperature changes very precisely. In winter, you'll notice your cat lying on you a lot more. That's not necessarily more affection, it just means you're warmer than the floor. The third reason is personality. In 2017, a research team in Australia published in the journal PLOS ONE an analysis of the personalities of over 2,800 cats. They identified 5 core personality traits in cats, called the feline 5. These include anxiety levels, extroversion, impulsiveness, agreeableness, and dominance. Cats with high anxiety scores tend to avoid petting more often, even when you didn't do anything wrong. This is a personality trait, not a reaction specifically to you. On the other hand, more extroverted cats enjoy contact but still have limits. They want to be near you, but on their terms, not yours. There's also a type of cat that people often misunderstand: cats with low agreeableness scores. They don't hate you. They just prefer close but no touching. They might sit in the same room with you, watch what you're doing, sometimes stare straight into your eyes, but they don't like being held or petted for long. That's simply their nature. The fourth reason: breed. Not every breed is born to be a companion in the way people usually expect. This is something John Bradshaw, a cat behavior researcher at the University of Bristol, emphasizes in his book, Cat Sense. A 2019 study in Finland tracked the behavior of different cat breeds and found that British Shorthairs and Persians were the least likely to initiate contact with humans. Meanwhile, Siamese and Korat cats were far more social with people. This doesn't mean your British Shorthair loves you any less. They just show it differently. A Persian cat lying in the same room with you for 8 hours without avoiding you. That's also a form of bonding. You have to learn each cat's language. You can't use the same yardstick for all of them. The fifth reason: early socialization. This is the foundation that everything else is built on. According to research by Karsh and Bradshaw, kittens have a very narrow window to build trust with humans, between 2 and 7 weeks old. During this period, if kittens interact with people regularly, are handled gently, hear human voices, and smell human scent, they store that experience as something normal and safe. If during that stage they have little to no human contact, or worse, go through something scary involving people, then as adults, they tend to keep their distance. Usually a safe distance of about 3 to 6 feet. They won't come any closer. Not because they're stubborn, but because their brain formed the connection between human and not safe very early on. And that's hard to change later. Not impossible, but it takes a lot of time and real patience. The sixth reason goes the deepest, and it's also the most misunderstood: past experiences and emotional trauma. In a cat's mind, memory isn't something in the past, it's the present. One time being hit, thrown, locked up, or starved can be enough to create a reflex of avoidance that lasts for years, sometimes a lifetime. Cats don't reason like humans, like, that person did it, but this one is different. They sort things more simply. Human hand equals danger, or human hand equals safe. And once it's recorded on the negative side, rewriting that memory is not easy at all. Animal behavior researchers have observed in rescue cats symptoms very similar to PTSD in humans. Avoiding any stimulus linked to the past experience. Staying in a constant state of high alert, even when there's no real threat. And sudden aggressive reactions when touched, even if there were no earlier signs of stress. I have a rescue cat named Luna, adopted from a shelter in Bristol, England in 2021. In the first month, she only ate when I wasn't in the room, not when I turned away, when I was completely gone. I would put the food down and leave, wait 10 minutes, then hear the sound of her eating. In the second month, she ate while I sat in the corner of the room and didn't look at her. By the fourth month, she would lie about 1 foot away from me while I worked at my desk. Not closer, but she didn't leave either. In the 9th month, for the first time, she placed her head in my lap. I didn't move for 45 minutes, afraid she'd get up. The whole process took 14 months, not 14 days like many internet videos promise. The key during that time was learning to recognize when Luna was merely tolerating it and when she was actually comfortable. Those two states look very different if you know what to watch for. Signs a cat is just tolerating it. Tail flicking, back skin twitching, head turning away, body stiff, ears flattened, the purring suddenly stopping. Or displacement grooming as a coping behavior to escape the situation. Signs a cat is enjoying it. Body relaxed, eyes half closed or slow blinking, ears facing forward or slightly angled to the sides, the tail staying still or gently curved upward, and a steady purr that doesn't break. A simple check called the consent test. While you're petting your cat, stop and lower your hand. If the cat bumps its head into your hand, that's them asking for more. If they walk away or don't react, that's the clearest answer you can get. Next time you notice your cat avoiding you, don't think, "It doesn't like me." Think, your cat is telling you it wants to love you in the way that feels safe to it. It's not rejecting you, it's setting the terms. And if you adjust your touch, give them space, read the signals right, many cats will come back on their own. Not because you forced it, but because you gave them a reason to stay. Sometimes, just being there is love. And with cats, that's truer than you think.